That's powerful. What is going on, y'all? We're gonna go ahead and get started. If you can hear me and you can see me, just give me like a thumbs up in the chat. If you can hear me and see me, just don't thumbs up or hello or something, some kind of communication. Turn my chat on so I can actually see. Cool. Welcome, y'all to the 7 o'clock session. Cool, look like everybody can hear me. All right, awesome, man. So welcome into the real estate exposure on how to get started in real estate. Today or this session for 7 o'clock, we're going to talk about how to find deals and how to turn them into Airbnbs with Mr. Errol J. Allen. Cool. So our intentions for today is to, of course, how to find deals and turn them into Airbnb. So we're going to learn the following. So how to get started, mindset, and his daily tasks. Of course, how to find it, how to analyze these deals, what systems is he using, how to manage it, and then how to leverage and scale from there. A couple of housekeeping rules. A lot of gems will be dropped as always with Mr. Errol. So have a pen and paper ready for notes, or if you use like a Google Sheets or Google Docs, go ahead, pull that up now. All for the purposes so everybody won't be talking at the same time. All parties will be muted, but if a question should arise, just type it in the question and answer section. It should be below, or depending on where you are, what kind of device you're on, it might be anywhere, but it says Q&A. So type it in there, or just write it on the paper or in the chat room. And then if we don't answer that by the end of the session, then we'll bring out one by one to answer those questions. So all right, let's get it. Let's have some fun. All right, so who am I? I'm Bryant Miller. I am a full-time realtor and real estate investor. I am under the brokerage, or I hold my license under Maximum Realtor Partners. And then under them, I have a few businesses, but the main one for my real estate endeavors is Bryant Miller Realty Group, where I manage and run a realtor team. Then I have an investment team for my buying holes and flips and things. My educational background, I have a associate's degree in business and then a bachelor's degree in supply chain management. And then I collaborated those two to be a better Bryant in real estate and real estate negotiations. I know I learned a lot from Six Sigma for supply chain. So make sure everything runs smoothly and everything. And I am a mentor for new hire agents that's come through the brokerage, as well as first-time investors looking to close their first deal. So now our speaker for today is Mr. Errol J. Allen. So who is he? He is a full-time real estate investor. He does a little bit of everything, but he's really great at the Airbnb Superhost. So that's what he'll be talking about tonight. He's a mentor, coach, a generational wealth builder. He's the owner of a nonprofit that's fixing flips, buying holes, new construction, a little bit of everything. So without further ado, Errol, can you hear me?
Let me see. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you good, see you good.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'm definitely after looking at this, I'm just gonna put deal architect. That's the new title from here on out, because it's too much now at this point. Like, I'm going through my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, I do that too. Oh yeah, I do that too. Yeah, I forgot about that one. So we just go put deal architect, label it, keep it moving.
Right.
So awesome. But first and foremost, thanks for having me on your evening session. I do appreciate it, and I do not take it for granted. Welcome, everybody. Hopefully you guys get the gems that you are looking for as it pertains to the Airbnb sector. So let me just go on and slide on over and share my screen. Can I?
Yeah.
You can share.
As a matter of fact, appreciate you. I always like to show gratitude in the beginning of anything that I do. So grateful for you coming to share some gems with us on Airbnb and real estate investing in general. I know you took time out of your busy schedule. Busier than me, maybe, probably, to take the time out to speak with us. So I'm super grateful for that.
Awesome. I appreciate that. So let's get into it. Well, before I actually break all that down, let me give you guys some quick backstory in case y'all don't know who I am. So my name is Errol J. Allen. I've been doing this business for about 5 years now. I started December 20th, 2015, and I strictly was doing wholesaling. And at the time, I think I was like 20 years old. So fresh out of college retiree. I don't quit nothing or drop out. So I retired from college, retired from the corporate world as well. Same scenario. And I got introduced to real estate by a friend of a friend. And I really had a, I was like, I thought you had to have a lot of money to make a lot of money in the real estate space. And then I was broken down the concept of wholesaling. And then after I actually got a grasp on what wholesaling was, within my first 90 days, I was able to close a deal. I was able to make an extra $3,000 in that deal. And I went ballistic. After that, 2 weeks later, another deal, and then another 2 weeks later, and then it just kept on piling up. So after that, probably about a good 2 years, I had a good lump sum from wholesaling. I transitioned over to adding fix and flip into my belt. So I've done a bunch of properties and actually did some project management prior to actually doing full-blown rehabs by myself. And then after that, I got into the creative financing / buy and hold sector. And that's where I really flourished with my Airbnb arbitrage niche that I have created for myself. And I'm still doing everything that I previously said to date, still closing wholesale deals, still fixing flipping properties. Just now I decided to hold some and not just flip them off like I normally would. And yeah, so that's a quick synopsis about me. Hopefully that wasn't too much and too quick of a time frame. But let's get into the whole Airbnb sector. So what I have right now, guys, is pretty much my brain tree. I'm not gonna go over the whole thing because it seems like 4 bullet points, but this thing easily extends to like millions and millions of things. So I'm gonna keep it rather quick and simple, and I'll just do the essentials. So the first thing you guys wanna know is how to actually get properties, how to actually find opportunities, correct? So let's click on here. Acquisition methods. And these are what I am doing and still do to this day. Everything, see, this got so, hold on, I gotta zoom out of this. Everything I talk about, I still do to this day, and I'm gonna try and minimize all these because I don't need all of that at one time. But yeah, so for those who don't know, this is pretty much my brain dump. Like everything I do with my Airbnb business is pretty much in this brain tree. Nice. Let's see if I can zoom back in to that. Boom. Acquisition methods. These are all I do. This is literally it, guys. For everything I've done for my Airbnb business in terms of finding arbitrages, I've done it through one of these methods. So you got your driving for dollars, your eviction tired landlord list, straight internet, social media, whatnot, realtor.com, Redfin.com, and I'll open these up too. Networking events or third parties. This is all I do to find, identify, and then capitalize on arbitrage opportunities. So obviously you guys probably know Drive for Dollars is, if you're in this webinar, you probably have a familiarity with what DFD stands for. So I'm not gonna go too deep into it. For rent by owner signs, for sale by owner signs, the whole gambit. Tired landlord list. Of course, you can always go to Law Clerk on Demand. And I actually do believe Deanna is speaking tomorrow. So you can just segue this and ask for tomorrow, you got any evictions list? And yes, those do work. Or you can go to county courthouse and pull them yourself. Now, the ways that I got most of my properties to date was actually from, let me circle back real quickly. This is how I got most of my properties. Most of my arbitrage opportunities was from driving for dollars and cold calling somebody. And then I found out that the owner wanted to sell this property, but he had another one he didn't want to sell, but he didn't want to rent it no more either. So I found a problem. I was like, well, what if I could get you the residual income of a landlord without all the headaches? Ding, ding, ding. What do you mean? Then I started pitching them hey, I'll take over, I'll manage tenants, and you ain't gonna worry about nothing. You just collect a check every month. But the only catch is the check you're gonna collect is gonna be slightly less than what market rent would be. So his properties could rent out for like 15, 16, 1700. You're gonna have to rent out to 1200. That way I have a little cushion in between. And then I turn around and make 3,000, 4,000 on Airbnb. Everybody's happy, especially me. So this is the bulk of how I get most of my leads that are arbitrage. And then second place is now my network. People are obviously now kind of known or associate anything in terms of rental arbitrages with me. So I get a call first than more people probably would, but that's because I established that over time by consistently putting out content of what I'm doing. And then if you guys want, here are some sites that you guys can use for yourself immediately after today's webinar. You can screenshot right now. I'm gonna leave it up there for like 10 seconds on places you can go to find rental arbitrage opportunities. There is not a shortage or a lack of anything and anywhere in this Atlanta sector when it comes to finding places to arbitrage. It's just a matter of, do I choose this one or that one? Do I like that roof or that roof better? Is this paint job better or is that paint job better? You don't have an issue finding arbitrages. Now, if you like me, I'm super picky. I gotta have, like, the details matter, but I still get my arbitrages, no problem. So hopefully you guys took notes or screenshot that. Networking events, obviously you can go to RIAs, you can go to REI clubs, business events, and then third parties, you can go attack property managers and brokers because, of course, people come to them. I'm pretty sure people come to Bryant all the time with properties that either they want to sell or are looking to rent out. So Bryant will be a great person to stay in touch with and be like, hey, you come across any arbitrage opportunities. If you're not taking advantage of them yourself, I would love to cash in or just, have a conversation. So again, I'm going through this rather quickly because if you guys want, shameless plug alert, if you guys want, I did this whole webinar of my Braintree and my PowerPoints, and it took about like 2 to 3 hours. You can go to my website. I have a mentorship group, youngbucksnation.com, and go to the store, the online store. Let me just, store. Boom, right there. All about Airbnb replay. You can go right there, get it. It's $100, and I go in detail. And this was done last month, so this is very recent. And I go in detail about my Airbnb operations, everything like that. Obviously, if you're a YBM member, you get access to that for free. But if you're not a YBM member, go to the store, buy it. It's $100. So that's why I'm kind of blazing through it because I've done this already. So that is what I do in terms of acquisition methods. So does anybody have any questions about acquisition methods before I go on to the next subject? And I'm not sure. Let me see if I can bring up these questions.
Any questions, y'all? Let me see.
Put that right there. No questions? Oh, that must mean I'm nice with it. No way. Everybody understands that we are on the same page?
I think so.
All right, say less. So I'm going to go on to the next thing. So the other thing I'll talk about real quickly is just your power team. And then after that, I'll go into some tricks and stuff that I do with my Airbnbs and whatnot. So pretty much your power team, when it comes to when you finally get the properties, you get them set up, how you design them, or if you hire an interior designer, whatever, this is your A team right here. Your cleaners, your handyman, and your customer support once you get to a point of having 3+ Airbnbs. And I'll tell you all those in a second. Cleaners, how do you locate the cleaners? Boom, that's how you locate them. I locate my cleaners actually by my network and internet. I actually met my very first cleaner at a bank. I was depositing a check from a wholesale closing, and she had a cleaning sign on the side of her car, and I just quickly talked to her. I'm like, hey, do you do any short-term rental cleanings? She said, oh, that's all I do. Boom, done. She was my cleaner for like 6 months, and then I scaled. Couldn't keep up with the volume no more. But yeah, you can also put up ads on Craigslist. Again, like I said, I found my current cleaning company, and then I actually have a small cleaner group as well. I have 2 cleaners working for all my arbitrages. That was from my network, and the other one's from the internet. And the goal is to have at least a good qualified rotation of 2 to 3 cleaners. And honestly, that number will probably change once you cross 5, and that will probably be 3 to 4 cleaners. So now 2 to 3 cleaners was good for me when I was below 5. Now I'm above 5. Yeah, I need more cleaners. So I'm currently onboarding more cleaners, and that's going to be probably the ever-going problem you're going to come across as you scale and build up more Airbnbs, getting reliable, effective cleaners. Qualifying the cleaners. There it is right there. Ask for references. Lay out what you want to have done. So again, in my All About Airbnb webinar, I have this whole scope of work that I give all my cleaners, and it's in all my properties. They have a text message of what it is, and they do the same exact clean every single time. And obviously look for cleaners you can build rapport with, make sure they have experience in the space, because of the difference between cleaning a vacant property and a short-term rental. If you guys not know that, that's a very different thing. See what the prices is and see if you can negotiate based on volume. I knew from the jump that I can guarantee my cleaners at least 4 cleanings a month. So when they charge me the price they charge me, I was like, well, what can you do for a volume discount? Because I'm going to be bringing you consistent business. And I was able to get volume prices for all my cleaners because I showed them my track record of consistent cleanings I'm going to need for my properties. So in the beginning, you might not get the rates that I get for my cleaners, which is kind of low, but as you build, you eventually will be able to negotiate better and better and better rates. Responsibilities, cleanings, and for me, this is me personally, you guys in the beginning, 11 to 2 a.m. was perfect for me because I only had one property. But now I got several. So I need a bigger block of time, but I still can't go too far out because guests always want to check in sooner, or guests are always like, hey, you know, can we drop our stuff off at least? So I try to keep the clock at 11 to 3. Execute my May checklist that all my cleaners have access to and all have messages on. Do item inventory. This is very important. Last thing you want to have is you run out of toilet paper and the guests ask you for toilet paper. So my cleaners are required to take 2 things: before photos of, after photos, when they leave, and then a photo of my supply or maid closet. That way I can see what's left. And now to the point now, I have my cleaners resupply my own supplies for me. I don't go to the stores as much. I just have them do it all because they know what needs to be done. And I reimburse them once I take a photo of my receipt or of their receipt. You can do this by yourself. Like I said, in the beginning, I was doing it all just so I can have the experience and the knowledge and the wherewithal. But now that I have it, now I offset to my cleaners. I know for my project manager, I'm not going to send my project manager, I'm going to send my customer support person. I'm going to have come in and replace me. Because right now I'm doing all the admin stuff for my Airbnb business, like the guest interactions and scheduling the cleanings and scheduling repairs. I'm going to have somebody replace me probably in the next 1 to 2 months. And I'm going to still build up more Airbnbs. Right. So I'm already preparing that job because I already know that's going to be a job when someone does step into that role for me. And you can have them fill the items by giving them prepaid debit cards. Honestly, all I do is have them take photos of the receipts and boom, I square cash them however much it costs. Alert and document any excessive damages. That's kind of self-explanatory. And ironically, I just had a guest do a damage. So not a damage, but a violation of my house rule, and my cleaners caught it. So I literally just did that today. And that'll happen a few times in your Airbnb business. Take photos of post-clean spaces. That's very necessary because the last thing you want to do, and this happened to me last week, I had a guest who took a nice ambiance of photos, and then Airbnb immediately reached out to me saying, hey, this is unusual, this is not up to what you're used to doing, you're a superhost, can you vouch or defend yourself? And I sent them all my photos that were time-stamped on my cleaner at 2 p.m. prior to them checking 1 hour in. They try to get a free stay over me. Guests will try you. Guests will try you. But you gotta be ready, and I stay ready. Whether it be the cameras, my post-cleaning photo, everything. I make sure everything is documented. I don't even talk to guests unless you're on the Airbnb platform, just so they can see the messages too. This is how prepared I am, because at the end of the day, you don't know the other person on the other side of that request. You don't know their principles, their values, their morals. It could be all shot. And I've dealt with people who are just like that. I've had people break my windows and then deny it. Like he wasn't the last person who just stayed in the property. If you guys saw my all famous party thrashing that happened back in December, I still got documentation of that to this day. And I just have it as a reference. Me going wrong, because it's all, people show you the residual income, the spreads, and am I good?
Yeah, it went out for a sec, but now it's straight.
Okay, what was the last thing you all heard?
People try to
Oh, people.
Bark
So
your
I'm saying
windows. Yeah.
people will try to get over on you. If they smell blood, they will attack. Your goal is to make sure you are as bulletproof as possible because not everybody's like that, but you want to at least be expecting to be ready just in case because some people will try. And many have tried against me, and all of them have failed because I'm bulletproof ready for every single stay. I'm so serious. I'm 100. I'm like 100 and 0 of these people.
Yeah.
You'd be amazed what some people try to claim on you. And what you need to do when you're hiring your cleaners, create a made checklist, oversee your cleaners' first couple of clean-ins. I'd say at least 3 separate times, not 3 back-to-back times, but 3 separate times. And even to this day, I still check up on my cleaners. I just did it today just because I was free. And I just so happened to find out my cleaners missed the property. So I'm still just doing like once a week check-ins just to make sure the flow of things is going good, even though I don't have to be there as much. Okay, so that's it about cleaners. Hopefully you guys have, if you have any questions, throw it in the Q&A box and we'll get to it later. Handyman. Handyman are going to be the people that repair your toilets, that are going to repair maybe like the thermostat cases, if you guys have thermostat cases, set up your furnitures, all that stuff. So how do I meet my handyman? Let me close out all of these real quickly. Craigslist, Indeed, Facebook Marketplace, blah, blah, blah. I met my handyman off TaskRabbit, and he has been my handyman to this day. 2 years in the works. He has never failed a job. He is on time. He does what he says he's going to do when he say he's going to do it by. So the only issue I have right now is I don't have 2 of them because now I got 7 properties going in rotation, and each thing got something every other day of the week. I just wish I had 2 of them. But for now, he is my A player, and yeah, we do business for a long time. And I even shot him out on my Facebook a few times if you guys see him. So I met my handyman off TaskRabbit. My backup handyman, I actually met through the homeowner of a property that I'm arbitraging. So that's how I met my backup handyman. And he's good, but he has a timing issue. His thing is, it'll take, if he say he's going to get to it at 6 p.m. today, he's getting it to 2 p.m. tomorrow. That's the only thing I don't like about him. Price is good, service is good, timing is shoddy. So we're working on it. So yeah, these are ways you can go about finding your handyman. Now, in terms of qualifying your handyman, obviously you want to make sure they have their own tools. You don't want to be buying their material for them to fix your problems. They should already come equipped with that. You want to make sure they have their own source transportation. Yes, I actually had, and I'm not going to say a handyman, but I've dealt with this in my investing business. I have a dope contractor who was a beast when it comes to tile, finish work, and everything else, but he don't have a car. So I got to call him an Uber. I could never do this. I could never do that in the Airbnb space. But I understand this right here is very key. You guys might look over it, but just make sure they have their own reliable transportation. You also want to make sure they're physically fit. If you got to have somebody lugging a box of furniture and stuff that you don't want to pick up yourself, or say you as a female, and your guy, your handyman is like 60, 70 plus years old, only thing he can give you that's good is good advice, not good service. So make sure that he's at least a physically fit handyman. Quick to respond and reliable. Like I said, my A handyman, no problems. He gets a job. He gets the job done. When he is busy, that's when I call my B handyman. And I make sure I call him a day in advance. And the responsibilities of the handyman, obviously, be able to handle miscellaneous things, change out air filters, fix toilet seats, tighten the screws in a chair, stuff like that. Miscellaneous things that happen from natural wear and tear that guests may cause. And having knowledge base to handle all kinds of repairs and installations. Again, I don't need you to know how to do open heart surgery, but I need to make sure you know how to change some air filters, stuff like that. And when you do get to the point of scaling, eventually, and this is a problem that I'm seeing, well, not a problem, this is a thing that I'm seeing right now, which is why I mentioned it in my All About Airbnb thing. After your second or third Airbnb, because this is when I started to see it creep up, but now it's smack dab in my face, like, okay, you got to do something fast. You can't keep building if you're the one still managing, per se. You got to have somebody else doing it. So around 2 to 3, you might want to just start documenting your processes, your responses, with back and forth with customer interactions, your SOP, standard operating procedures when the guest makes a booking, and everything that happens to when they check out. You want to start documenting all of that so you can eventually hand off that task to somebody else. So again, I started having these thoughts around 2 to 3 Airbnbs. Now it's definitely an apparent thing for me. This person will be the glue to your business, meaning they'll be your point of contact for your cleaners. They'll be your customer support back and forth for your guests. And then they'll even be doing maintenance calls with your handyman as well. So it's very important that you document all of these things. That way, when you do hand the keys to somebody else, it's a simple fill in. You don't want them like, oh, what do I do when this happens? No, it's already highlighted. Coordinate and handle service calls of handyman, schedule cleanings of cleaners. We'll be responsible for guest interaction tab. And that's it for that. And then the last thing is the B squad. The B squad is people who are not necessarily going to be the frontline people you're going to need on like a day in, day out, a week to week basis. But these are people you still want to have in your corner because these situations will arise. So the first one is a plumber. I remember my second Airbnb, my Coleman property. I actually owned this one. It had its first week booking, $600, $700 for the week. I was happy. I was like, yo, this is going to be lit. We good. 2 days before the guests check out, I get a call that the toilet water is flushing back up the toilet. So I'm over here like, oh God, what's going on? They sent me photos. It's flushing back up from the bathtub too. So I'm like, So I was left with a choice. I can either A, let them thug it out and then address it myself when they check out in 2 days, but that means they have 2 days without no showers and bathtubs. Or B, I pay somebody an exponentially high fee because it's last minute and have them take care of it today so I can save my Superhost status at the time and also get a good review because I'm a good host, not a slumlord Superhost. So obviously I did the latter. I went with choice B, but that cost me my Airbnb commission for the week. Tough decision at the time, but they left me a 5-star review and they've come back and stayed with me and even referred people to me as well. So it was really a lose-win. I'm not going to lose-win. It was a win-win because the guests were happy. I was happy in the long term. HVAC person, this happens to me every 4 to 6 months. I switch out the air filter, so I never have to worry about that. Also, for thermostat issues, trust me, you want to have an HVAC person on your team. Locksmith, you never know. Some guests have done some very interesting things, so I made sure to switch the locks. So I'm going to leave it at that. Painters, like I said, I had one instance where a group had a paint party with a water party, same 3-night booking in my property. So fortunately, I'm a real estate investor too. So it was a quick phone call. My painters came out, repainted everything, and we was good to go within like 48 hours. Trash dumpster person. So for me personally, I actually arbitrage houses and not condos or what's the other thing, high rises. So because of that, there is a trash thing that I have to factor in. And trash is normally every Wednesday because all my properties, I tend to keep them in the same area because they're literally like walking just from one apart. That way, I just want all my stuff in the same area. So I normally have my chief of security, who was we'll call him a neighborhood local. Well, a neighborhood local was my chief of security named Mr. Richard, who takes care of all my trash for all my properties. And why he does that? Because he pretty much is always there. And I was able to give him an actual job. He's now able to get a phone and a few other things because he's been working with me for almost a year now. I met him back in September of 2018. And he's been on top of it. He's even snitched on some parties that went on to my Airbnbs. Like he goes above and beyond, and he has definitely earned the title of chief of security. And then a yard maintenance person. Again, my handyman handles 90% of my yard maintenance, and then my chief of security handles the 2 properties I give him as well. Don't ask him how he gets a lawnmower and the gas for the lawnmower, but he gets it done, and that grass be looking good when I drive by. So he's employed. So I love having him on the team. And that's about it for your power team. So does anybody have any questions about that? Because I'm not gonna go over the other stuff because those get even more detailed.
You kind of that Superhost. What is like you didn't want to lose your Superhost status? What is that, and how does that affect
So that is a great question. Let me slide on over here and I'll show you. And profile Superhost. Da, 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 da. So pretty much when you start off on your Airbnb ventures, everyone starts off as an Airbnb host. But for those who meet a certain criteria and hit the stats that's called Superhost, you get benefits on the Airbnb platform, such as you get more visible listings. So you get more visibility on the Airbnb platform. So when somebody looks for something in Atlanta, Airbnb naturally pushes your listings up because you hold a high standard by hitting the Superhost status. And the requirements to hit that, things like have like a 4.8 review rating and have a certain amount of stays. I'll go to it real quickly if I can bring it up and show y'all. But it's fairly simple to hit Superhost. It's just a matter of maintaining it by consistently doing, you know, the things that you did to get there. So let's see. We'll go to reviews. I think that's how you get to it. Yeah, so you see 4.9. But where does it show the, I can't find it. Oh, well, we'll do it another time. But yeah, that was a good question. Does anybody have any other questions?
Do you take your own picture? Am I echoing on you?
No, you ain't echoing. Or let me see. No, you good.
Okay. Do you take your own pictures for the
Okay, great question. So I'll show you one of my lists real quickly. That way you guys can see. Actually, I'll do you one even better. I still got the photos. So let's see. Legacy over currency, Airbnb. Where is it? I'll go to this one. So these were photos taken by yours truly. Now, in the beginning, back when I was just trying to, you know, make a profit and stay on top of my my expenses in terms of what I have to maintain with my properties, all of it was taken right here through my phone. Now, it was good. It was good. I got bookings and things were going smoothly. But you see, this is all my handiwork. I took all the photos with my phone. And again, I was getting bookings. But now, once I made that investment and I actually went through Airbnb and had them take my photos, oh yeah, quality, much better, lighting, much better. Like you want to live here.
Right.
And so when I had these photos taken, my booking shot through the roof. I'm talking about I'm booked out 80%, 90% of the month, every month. Even still during Corona, I'm still getting booked out. So yeah, when people, this is the entry photo, this is the cover photo. When people see this, they're sold. I don't have to know, hey, can you discount me for this? No, it's good. We want, when can we get in? It's never a question of, can you discount the price? Because I am the most expensive Airbnb in all my areas. I am always the most expensive Airbnb, and that's on purpose.
What's that purpose?
So this goes into my pricing strategy. So great question. I'm giving y'all some gems on this one because I don't normally talk about the pricing strategy, but I'll give the pricing strategy gem just because Brian asked. Hold on, I see a chat. Somebody asked me. Let me just make sure. How much do you charge for the photos? Okay, so real quickly, yes, Airbnb will take photos for you, and Airbnb charges by the bedrooms. So for my 2-bedroom property, they charge me $140, and for my 3-bedroom properties, they charge me $190. And I say that's pennies, and it's worth every penny.
That's how much listing.
How do you furnish all of your Airbnbs? My girlfriend actually stages and does all my properties for me. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, my very first property was my primary residence, my house hacking listing. And I did an okay job, you know. I was getting some money, but then I had one guest who said, "Yo, your property would be so much better if it had a woman's touch." From that point forward, I said, "You know what? I'm taking my hands off. I'm not doing no more decorating this property." For you to even know that off rip that it wasn't decorated by a girl or by a guy, I was like, you know what?
Got me.
Yeah, you got me. So yeah, but back to my pricing strategy. Go right over here. So the reason that I purposely put myself as the most expensive property in the area is because, let me go right here. The reason I put myself as the most expensive property in the area is because I don't want anybody who's booking it for 1 night, 2 nights, 3 nights to stay in my properties. Why? Because there's high turnover. Cleaners got to come out, high probability. I don't want none of those people. What I want is people who are staying for weeks at a time. And as you can see, my pricing structure rewards people who stay longer. So if you booked it for 2 nights, you get a 15% discount. 15% of $100 is $15. But now if you stay for a month, $1,000, 40% of $1,000, $400. So I reward people who book longer with me. But if you're booking on 1 night or 2 night, I'm taxing you. Because you're blocking out my schedule from people who can book it for a week or 2 weeks at a time. And I only have to have my cleaners come in there and clean 1 time versus 4 or 5 times in that same 2-week period. So that's part of the methodology of why I'm always most expensive, on purpose, most expensive Airbnbs in all my areas. And you guys literally just got the gems on how I'm doing that and still turning profits and still getting booked out.
All right. How do you, well, no. So I guess, okay. So how do you base that price? I guess like comps for real estate. How do you do that?
Good question. So Airbnb has its own little pricing thing, like they tell you what it should be. You see that? So it says you should be charging $84 a night, but you obviously see I'm not charging $84 a night. So what I do is, because everybody's like, I want to get bookings, I want to get bookings, I want to get bookings. So what you go do naturally when you want to get a sale, Bob is charging $100 for his turkey sandwich. You're going to charge $99 so you can get the sale. My thing is the opposite. Like I said, I purposely charge more. Hold on, someone calling me. Let me end that call. I purposely charge more so those people who are booking 1 or 2 nights are repelled, and then the people who book longer obviously get the discount price, which is 40% of this or 25% of that. And then it's really the price that's probably closer to that. But you're staying for a long period of time, which is what I want. So I take what Airbnb recommends and I do a 35% increase. So I think this one actually did more than 35%. And this changes like on a weekly basis. So I'm pretty sure at one point this was $100 and that's why it's at 130 right now. But then it just dropped to 84. But I ain't even changed it because I'm still getting booked.
Right.
So that's why and how I'm basing my prices per se. Questions. How do you already answered that? Where do you get your furniture from? Okay, so actually let me go back to my map real quickly. Again, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I'll show you. Where is that section? Airbnb physical property, keywords to play. There we go, places to shop. Boom. These are all the places I shop for my Airbnbs. In rotation. Oh yeah, FYI, shameless plug. If you want, I go through this in detail for 2.5 hours at youngbucksnation.com and go to all of our Airbnb replay. And I break all this down thoroughly. Case studies, examples, all that good stuff right there. Cost you 100 buckaroos. Have fun.
You make so much more off of that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just kind of like, this right here should have been a whole Airbnb course. And I actually am making an Airbnb course, and that's going to be something totally different. But I know for the immediate now, people want to know my methodologies, and that's why I did the whole brain map. But good questions. And I think I saw one more question. Let me go back over there. Do you do per room or the whole place? Great question. Whoever asked that. Victoria, great question. So let me go to my listings and I shall show thee. So I have one listing, my primary residence. My primary residence is a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom property. I have 3 listings for that property. So we will go through them real briefly. I'm not going to actually go through them in detail, but I have one where I rent out the whole space. Right there. This is the whole space, and that's priced something. And then I have one where I rent out each individual room. Now, I will say, during this whole COVID-19 stuff, the rooms have been super performing. So when people were like prior to, people always book out the whole space. But now I got 2 people who booked up the rooms and they're staying for like 2+ weeks at a time. Covers the mortgage and everything. So I don't have to worry about that. That's why, you know, the whole forbearance stuff, I'm just like, oh, that's cool. House hacking got me.
Right. So the room, you can do the whole house or one room within your house. This is your house, right?
Yeah, this is my primary residence. So I have 3 listings for my one house, one for access to the whole house, and then one for access to each individual room. And obviously I priced them accordingly.
Right. And then so if somebody book, you just go stay somewhere else.
Oh no, so the people who booked the whole house, is the whole house except my room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're not about to be sleeping in my bed. Nah, that ain't that kind of party. You can get bedroom number 2 across the hall or bedroom number 1 downstairs, but you cannot get bedroom number 3.
Okay, I'll just
nah, we ain't on that type of time. I think I saw one more question. Let me go to that real quickly.
Oh yeah, you can.
I can't really see it, but let me see if I try this. I can't see it. If you can see oh, there it is. I just make more per room, or do you do per room or the whole place? I do both. I just make more per room. Yes, I do make more per room as well than I do rent out the whole space. And I didn't know, yes, you can do that. So I think I answered all those questions. Cool. So is there anything else that anybody wants me to go over real briefly or touch on?
All right. So just even starting a listing, how do you, will you just go to, I see it now, create listing at the top and you just enter it all in there?
So this is the steps to set up your Airbnb listing right there.
Okay.
And I will say it one more time, youngbucksnation.com. Go on, get the all by Airbnb replay. But yeah, if you want to create a listing, you can just go to create new listing or duplicate an existing listing. So what I did was I just duplicated my second listing for all my houses. That way I don't have to go through all the same, like, what's the house rules or what's the bed bath count or what do you want for this? I just duplicate an existing listing. And that saves me a lot of steps. But yeah.
Rented out an apartment before?
Have I rented out an apartment before? No, I choose to stay away from apartments. I know people who are crushing in apartments. I got a bunch of friends who are doing it, but I personally like my houses.
All right. Good stuff. Who does your keyless entry?
Who does my keyless entry? I get my keyless entry from, wait for it, Wally World, and wait for it, Brinks. You go to Walmart and these are $60. Wait for it. Let me find it. Actually, I'm tripping. I could have just done this.
I remember we was on a treasure hunt for that.
Boom. That is what I get from Wally World, $60. Versus the other ones that you see at Home Depot for 300 plus, 200 plus, on Amazon for 200, 300 plus, Walmart, $60.
Okay, and then that opens the thing. So you leave the bottom one unlocked?
Yep. And if you do accidentally lock the bottom one, all my properties have a front door mat that's like that says welcome and has a key for the bottom lock under it because guests lock themselves out all the time. I actually had a guest lock themselves out 2 days ago, and they called me while I was getting a haircut. They're like, yo, can you come down? We lock ourselves off the property. I'm like, there's a key under the mat. Oh, thanks, bro. I'm like, yeah. Questions. Oh, I see the questions are revving up now. Let me slide on over there. X out of this one. Already answered that. Who does your keyless entry? My handyman sets them up, if that's your asking who sets it up. My handyman does that for me. And just to give you all a general overview of how I set up my properties without actually talking about it, I get all the furniture from all my vendors. I get all the towels, linens, all that stuff. And once all the furniture is there, I call my handyman one time to set up all pieces of furniture. Keyless door locks, couch, beds, all that stuff. That way I don't have them going there and back 8 times and paying them 8 service fees or 8 setup fees. And I think I had another question. Hold on, let me just X out these tabs because I did create quite a few tabs for myself. X out of that. So I see that someone's asking questions, but I can't like access them. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. So who programs for you? My handyman does as well. Again, I get all the material in the property, and then my handyman takes care of everything for me. Whoever asked that question. Victoria, I believe it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, want that right here actually. Did not. Dang it. There we go.
Now, is it any particular systems that you're using to keep everything? I mean, this system, what
Great
is this,
question.
first of all? This brain map thing, because I could use something like this.
This is gold. Like you, listen, I went to another quick side note. I went to another mastermind, and the presenter was using this brain map about how he was building a multiple seven-figure wholesale business. And I was just like, oh, shoot, I got to do this for myself. Hold on. And he had broke down to such a simplistic level with this brain map. I was like, nah, I'm going to have to steal that one.
Yeah.
So I did. Anywho, but
what's the site?
What's his what?
What's the site?
Oh, the site is MyMeister, I believe.
MyMeister. Yeah, because something like that would definitely.
When you want to get everything in here on the paper before you actually like put like a format or a system or process, this is the best thing to do.
Right. Okay.
All right. Do you own all your properties that you use for Airbnb? No. 60-40. 40% I own, 60% I arbitrage. It's about to be 50-50 once my McDaniel project is done. So who was the other question? I saw a third one. This chat feature be tripping me up. Okay.
Yeah, that's why we have to have these two screens, because I'd be looking over here with the questions.
Okay, so no one else asked a question. So back to your original thing though, what systems per se am I using? So in the beginning, again, I stopped using this. I want to put that disclaimer out there. I stopped using them. But in the beginning, I had a whole pricing tool thing that would adjust my prices for me as bookings were coming in and time of year and seasons, all that stuff. And that pricing tool was called Wheelhouse. So this is what it looks like if you guys want to look into it. But again, I stopped using it. Wheelhouse. Where is it? Hold on. Gotta look it up. Was it Wheelhouse or was it something? Oh, there we go. Nope, that's a different Wheelhouse. I might have forgot because it's been a minute since I used that. There we go. This is what I used to use in the beginning to track all my prices and all that stuff. But what I do now is, again, I go what the Airbnb recommend prices, and then I just go 40-35% above that. And then how do I manage like my day-to-day? This is how I manage it right here. I go to my multi-calendar, and then I just look and see when guests are checking out. And then I just simply text my cleaners, hey, check out, guest checks out this time, clean. Guest checks out that time, clean. And they take photos after every cleaning. So this literally takes me 10 minutes of my day. So around 11 a.m., I send out my farewell messages like, hey, hope you enjoyed our stay, blase, blase. And then for a week, I would just look at all the days where people are checking out, and I would just text my cleaner, this property this day, this property this day, this property this day, one time a week. Now, obviously, I check it every day because people could do last minute bookings, but the bulk of my cleans are scheduled out a week in advance. And that's pretty simple how I maintain that. But again, eventually someone else will be doing this for me.
Right.
Is it hard to arbitrage? No. What's the easiest way to do it? Talk to people. Do you use contracts? Yes. Leases to be exact. Where do you get your contracts? My attorneys drafted them up and then I gave them to me. And if you guys want copies of them, What's a good place to get it from me? I would say if you guys want copies of the stuff that actually, wait a second. Again, if you get the Airbnb replays there, I be forgetting this. Yo, it's all the Airbnb replay. But if you guys want the paperwork specifically, just I guess hit me up on Instagram, Errol J Allen, and just say, hey, can you send me the stuff and give me your email address, and then I'll have it sent to you. But yeah, good questions. Whoever asked that, Victoria. Man, Victoria's on fire. You need to give her like a star. She asking, where's everybody else? Like, everybody else sleep or something? It's only 7:53.
This good stuff, y'all, man. Throw some thumbs up in the chat or something like this. This is unlimited gems. Especially, I see some people in from Florida, man. Y'all could kill it down there in Florida. With
if I had an Airbnb in Florida next to some water, y'all, you don't understand. I'm just making use of the city night. Oh my goodness. If I was next to some like attractions, again, we still got our own attractions, but let me get a beach shot of one of my properties. It's a wrap. I'll never go on books. I have an Airbnb. I've been ready to expand. Okay. So what's stopping you, Victoria? So I think that's everything I wanted to cover real briefly. Let me see. Was there anything else I want to talk to you guys about? Again, the other stuff, I covered that in my webinar. So I do run a program. Well, actually, I'm not sure. How much time do I have left, Brian, before I go into all closing stuff?
Yeah, you're good. Y'all
okay.
Want to keep going? Or?
So I'll see another question came in.
Money.
I have an Airbnb. I've been ready to expand. Money at first, interested in arbitraging. Okay, so if you are interested in arbitraging, everything I talked about right here, not the power team. Switch these up real quickly. Not that one, wrong one. If you're looking to arbitrage, here's the secret of how I arbitrage so seamlessly. I do one of these marketing methods or whatever method. Once I find somebody who's got property that I think I can arbitrage, I find a problem. I listen and I find the problem. Once I find the problem, I then solve the problem. And then I get the contract. That is a secret. There is no scripts. Again, I do have scripts, but you really do not need scripts. Most times, landlords who get into the renting business imagined one thing and then got smacked with reality. Problem tenants, late night calls, constant paying out contractors, repairing of things throughout the house. They get tired. They are tired. They want cash flow, whether it be $200, $300. They just want stress-free cash flow. All I do is come in and provide them a way to do it. Hey, you want that stress-free cash flow? I'll give you that. I'll take on all the headaches. And I don't even take on the headaches because, again, my cleaners, my handyman, my power team take on the headaches. I just direct it to whichever appropriate party it goes to.
Right.
So I'm really not even taking on the headaches. I just happen to be the first touch or the first person who sees it. What do I say to a seller to get them to agree? I find a problem, and then I solve it. That's it. Once you get them on board with believing that you can solve their problem, everything else is secondary. Now, I'll show you the technical stuff, but again, the overall theme that I want to push is once you find this problem that they know they have, you just got to figure out which one it is, you won. So which one is it? Again, this is if you deal with those A-type people who want to know everything, like, oh, what's the perks of doing this and all that stuff, you can hit them with this. It's a nice one-page printout. And again, I have this in my all Airbnb webinar. If you hit me up on Instagram for some of this stuff, I'll give it to you as well. So if you want to leave something tangible with a homeowner after you found their problem and solved it, then you can leave them with this. But I honestly only use this one time. Even though I made it and everything, I've only used this one time. But for the people who are like, I just need something, that is the something per se. Okay, let's see. Do I have any other questions? Check that chat.
Yeah, see for right now.
I'm trying to get to the chat, but the chat's not letting me be great. Okay. Yeah, I think you spot on. All right, cool. Well, if that is everything, do you have anything else, Brian, that you would like for me to address or go over or drop some chime in, some gems or 2 cents on?
I think that was, as always, detailed, super detailed. It just got, I guess, getting out of your fear of getting into, the Airbnb space and having that confidence. That goes with that last question that you answered. Like, hey, you know that you can rent this out and get that cash flow, so they could get paid and you get paid as well. So,
I'm gonna tell you right now, anywhere in the Atlanta, Georgia area within a 25-mile radius, a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom property, you can see $2,000 plus profit on that property on a consistent monthly basis. It is not that hard. So if I can see $2,000 plus, as long as I keep it marginally below that, let's say 1,500 and under, I can see a decent profit. Now, when you get really good at it, you'll make that 2,000 become 3,000 more.
Yeah, we didn't even get into money. Like, guess what type of, I guess, payouts and things that you see. I mean, it's all over social media.
Payouts.
Payouts and weeklies and monthlies.
I mean, I'm 1,000% transparent. If you want earnings to the T, wait for it.
And this is in the COVID-19 space.
Oh yeah, no, COVID-19, my best month. April 2020. March, when it started, my best month prior to April.
Oh.
And this is passive. This is very passive, guys. And I still have scratched the surface on my business.
Yeah.
Even though I'm 7 properties deep right now, I have only scratched the surface on what I wanted to do. My goal is to have 25 of these things going. So if I'm going to have 25 of these things going, I'm going to need some property managers fast. Yep. So, yeah, this is nothing. Wait, I know people who are doing $50,000, $100,000 monthly on this same platform. So I feel like I'm behind. I'm like, hold on now. Y'all can't be having all this talk about me. Y'all going you gonna have to include me.
I'll help.
You said what? Hold on, let me go. This chat funk's be messing me up. I'm not gonna lie. I'll help. Okay. Hit me up on Instagram, Victoria. We can talk, have a conversation. But yeah, I mean, if nobody has anything else, I'm very accessible. I think Bryant will share with you guys a slide. I will do one last shameless plug. If anybody is interested and learn how to get into anything involving wholesaling, Airbnbs, I have a mentorship group called Young Bucks Nation. Feel free to go check it out. It is literally a real estate business in the box. I have my YBU University where all the things that I'm doing, I have it recorded, documented that you guys can have access to, and you guys can see the perks of joining YBN below. Brian is, as well as a member of YBN, and is a beast in the community as well. He didn't join YBN to get anything. He just wanted. He's just there. Like he came a beast before. He was a beast before he joined YBN. I was just like, oh hey, Brian. So yeah, if you guys are interested, it's a one-time fee of $750, and it's $50 a month. And my overall goal is to get you on this wall right here, the closing wall. And actually to update that because we had a few closes in the past couple months. I just haven't told my website guy to do it for me. But yeah, if you are interested in joining YBN, youngbucksnation.com, check it out. And I saw one last question. I answered that, and then I will leave or give it back to you. I thought I saw a question.
What's the average monthly price required from the landlord, and do y'all work together on repairs?
Oh, beast question.
Yes.
So I try to keep all of my rents below 1,500. So I know some of my Airbnb friends who have like these high end stuff, but their rents or mortgages like $2,000, $3,000 a month. I don't want to force myself in a position where I have to perform on that on a monthly basis. My thing is the closer to zero, the better for me. So 1,500 is like the highest I feel comfortable going. Of course, I might stretch it if it's like a 4-bedroom property. I might do like 16, 17. I know I'm keeping it below 1,500. Now, in terms of what I do with the landlords, I actually have, and I'll show you guys real quickly because you asked the beast question. Ooh, where is it? The da-da. So this is my one page that I use when I'm arbitraging a property. Obviously, I put NA for the option to purchase, but the most important thing that I have the landlord agree to is buyer tenant is not responsible for all maintenance or repairs of the property that does not exceed $500 per incident. That's it. So if it's above 500, if it's 501, I'm calling my landlord or I'm calling the owner. If it's 499, that's on me. If it's 500, we haven't had one yet. So when it does get to 500, I'll let you know how that combo turns out.
Right.
But yeah, so I think I saw another question pop up. Just as I was about to close on out, the questions come in. I love it. But if I can get access to that, that'd be better. Okay, thanks. No problem. Ambrosia. I hope I said that right.
Ambrosia.
But yeah, so if you guys want to get in touch with me and talk about Airbnb stuff, the best way to get in touch with me is on Instagram, which is my name, Errol J. Allen. And that's all I got for you guys.
No other questions. So appreciate that, Errol, dropping all them gems, man. That's wow, man. Y'all, I just don't understand like the residual income that you can have from Airbnbs and not even own the property is crazy. Some you can own and some you can't, but he's doing a little bit of both, and so he's giving both ways of doing the business. And so yeah, I believe we answered all these questions. Mindset and daily tasks.
Mindset and daily task. So the mindset part is really your limiting belief because most people think that you can't have 1, 2, 3 going at a time unless you know someone who's personally doing it, or you might think, how am I going to scale it, or do I have enough cleaners? This is all small limiting belief things. At the end of the day, everything will figure itself out. You just got to be willing to go forward with it. You will eventually grow into the problems and then grow out of those same problems. Thanks for the info. Such a big help to me. No problem, Victoria. Glad I could help out. And daily task, as it pertains to my Airbnb business, aside from answering booking requests and approving bookings, I am pretty much checking my calendar, checking my cameras to make sure my cleaners are in my properties cleaning, and paying people. That's it. Paying bills, utilities, stuff like that. That's pretty much my day-to-day now. But in the beginning, I was more hands-on, like physically being there when the cleaners were cleaning, or physically being there when guests checked out. But now I'm very hands-off of all that.
Right. And that's from taking notes from when you was doing it. So now you just know how to delegate that to other people. I tell you that all the time, like, hey, just don't go through it. Take notes. What's going on? So you know how to handle it the next time.
Go through it so you can grow through it.
Yep. Indeed. Again, this is Errol's contact information. Do you have any YBN events coming up too?
No, actually, I don't, but we might have another All About Airbnb webinar because, again, I lightly touched on my marketing strategies in my March 31st Airbnb webinar. And at the time, it was theory. It wasn't really, I was still doing it, but it wasn't as tried and true as a full month has gone by now. So I can really draw from experience. So I might circle back around, do another All About Airbnb webinar during COVID. That way people can see like what I've been doing during COVID in detail, and I'll highlight that.
Okay.
But that might happen at the end of this month. I'm still talking around with the idea and dates and all that stuff.
Okay. Cool beans. So if you got any real estate deals, if you know any like different arbitrages or rents or whatever the case may be, that's his email address to send deals.
Anything. Anything. Wholesale, fix and flip, development, creative finance, and the Airbnb arbitrage, it don't matter.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we didn't get into that, but the big commercial project you got about to come up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the big Bertha.
Right. And then Young Bucks Nation for Mentorship Site. That's where you can find all about Airbnbs, different merch, and how to become a member too. Very highly recommended. And then on IG, some Errol J Allen or Young Bucks Nation. That's his nonprofit. For that, this is my contact information. I'm on Facebook at regular Bryant Miller. IG Realtor Bryant Miller, and if you wanted to start to get into like the realtor space, you can look at my YouTube Bryant Miller, and I got a bunch of content on how I became a real estate agent. And then if you wanted to get into investing, I got a free case study on how I got started. Just go to workwithbryant.com and you can see that free case study. So yeah, I definitely want to thank Mr. Errol J. Allen for spending the time with us today, man. Thanks for dropping all these gems. And man, show Errol some love in the chat, man. Throw some good stuff, some thumbs up, some fire, something.
Some fire.
Right.
Fire.
Cause that was a lot, man. That's thousands of dollars worth of content. Seriously.
And I told myself I wasn't gonna dish all the gems I just did, but I was like, it just happened.
Right. And then so yeah, thanks for talking about how to find deals and turn them into Airbnbs, profitable Airbnbs at that. Because you can have an Airbnb, but it might not be profitable. So profitable Airbnbs. Tomorrow at 12, Errol touched on it. Stiana Brent, she's gonna be talking about how to generate freshly weekly. So that way you can save time and money. Friday at 12, got Mr. Michael Braswell that will be talking about how to calculate hard money and use it to profit in real estate, leveraging. Saturday at 11 o'clock, we have Richard Panera. He talks about mindset before entering into multifamily. So he has some properties on college campuses, and then he does Airbnb, some of those as well, the apartments. And then, also on Saturday, I have a first-time home buyer webinar as well with me and one of my lenders. That's at 12 o'clock, right behind that one. That's how to purchase your first home, what's going on in the market with COVID-19 and everything, still closing deals. And then Sunday at 12 o'clock, we have Ms. Rael Green. She's going to be talking about how to manage other investors' properties for a profit. Definitely don't want to miss any of those because this all comes in a full circle. They all relate to each other. And plus, I'm exposing you. Well, my intentions are to expose you to different things. So I may be able to I focus on one thing, but you might be on something totally different. Like Miss Victoria, she seems like she's all into Airbnb. So she'll click with Errol and Airbnb. So look at all the exposures, pick your route and make it happen. That's the intentions for that. The links is in my bio on Facebook and IG, or you could just go to this link tree site at the bottom. And if there's no other questions, man, again, Errol, thank you so much for spending time out of your busy day to talk with us, man, and really appreciate it.
No problem. Happy to help.
Awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and shut it down for the night. Y'all be great. We'll see you bright and early at 12. It's not too early, but we'll see you at 12 o'clock.
Have a good one, everybody.
All right, guys. Later.